So because some real life stuff happened during the past couple of days, and I couldn't find time to make the video for the first Tampa game, we're doing the 2 Tampa Bay games together. And earlier today, the Columbus Blue Jackets acquired Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic for PLD. If you want to know my thoughts on that, just click right up here. So we are doing the 2 Tampa Bay games in one video. Just going to do the Tampa series all together. So we're starting off with the first game where the Jackets lose 3-2 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in overtime. Corpy stole a point in this game. He was huge. Say made some incredible saves. This would end up being PLD's last game as a Columbus Blue Jacket, and it was the game where he just floated around for 45 seconds. There was a battle in the offensive zone, and he just went, you can have the puck, and let the Tampa Bay Lightning have the puck and exit the zone freely. If PLD battles like he has in the past, and he normally does in that battle situation, he probably comes away with it, even though he had 2 Lightning players right there, or at very least buys enough time to get some support to come help him out. He didn't care. He gave up, and that ended up being his last shift. But we have a lot of goals to get to. We got 2 games, so starting off, first period, the Jackets win the opening faceoff, dump in the offensive zone, Tampa starts to come up, it gets broken up, Domi tries to dump it back in the zone, and Hedman picks it up, and he starts to exit the zone. Domi pokes it off of him and goes, mine, thank you very much, and enters the zone. Slides the pass over to Borgstrand. Borgstrand takes a step down. Vasilevsky thinks he's going to pass, clearly because he's not on the correct angle, and Borgstrand wires a shot past him. Jackets lead 1-0. Borgstrand's second goal of the year, 21 seconds into the game. And watching that, I'm like, okay, the Jackets are ready to play. They are clearly playing up to the Tampa Bay Lightning rather than last game where they were playing down to the Detroit Red Wings. It was a great shot by Borgstrand. It was a great pass by Domi. Great pick off of Hedman by Domi. It was a great all-around shift. Domi looks like he's starting to settle into position. But after that, Jackson continued to apply pressure. They get some shots on Vasilevsky. They get some power play opportunities. And this is the same period where PLD had his last shift. Most of the period was run by the Jackets. Tampa would get some chances, and they would be very good chances because it's Tampa. But as far as the number of chances, I would say Columbus had more, and about even on quality. Vasilevsky had to make some huge saves, same with Korpisalo, but the Jackets head to the first intermission with the lead 1-0. Come on for the second, and Tampa starts to push back, and they start to go, wait a second. We're the Tampa Bay Lightning. We won the Cup this past year. We're really good. And so they start to push the Jackets. And the Jackets slowly back down. And as the period wears on, and the Lightning get more and more momentum, and the Jackets just continue to back down, and the Lightning continue just to dominate. Coming near the end of the period, Jackets have a little bit of zone time. Texier tries to make a move. It gets broken up. Lightning head up the ice. Texier tries to break it up as he's defending. He goes to make a play. He gets walked by the Lightning player, but it did buy Savard enough time. He got back a little bit. It wasn't a 3-on-1. It was a 3-on-2. Gavrikov and Savard are the guys back, but Savard's mainly just trying to get back to begin with. Lightning enter the zone. Gord passes over McDonough. Everybody slides over to see what McDonough's doing. Blake Coleman is just standing basically in the crease with a stick on the ice, waiting for the pass from McDonough. McDonough pits a run on his tape. He slides right past Corpy into the empty net, and the Lightning tie it up at 1. About a minute later, the Lightning come up the ice. They enter an offensive zone. Cirelli gets it. He slides over to McDonough, and once again, everybody goes, ooh, what's McDonough going to do? And they start to watch McDonough. It allows a little bit of his free space for Joseph to slide into. McDonough pits it right on his tape, right on the hash marks. Joseph just one time to pass Corpy, and the Lightning have a 2-1 lead that fast. And that's how fast they can score. You got to be on top of them all the time. You cannot have an off shift against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And that's how we would head to the third period, with the Lightning up 2-1. Come out for the third period, Jackets push a little bit. They're like, hey, we still have a shot at this game. Corpy's made some huge saves. Let's try something. They get an early power play, and I'm like, well, there goes any momentum they've built so far. The Jackets win the faceoff. Atkinson sends it to the point to Seth Jones. The defender goes to Jones, leaving Atkinson free. Jones slides it down to Atkinson. The defender starts to go to Atkinson. Atkinson now has a wide open lane, sends it across the ice to Borkstrand. Borkstrand walks down. Foligno standing in the middle of the ice, stick on the ice, battling with the player. Borkstrand just uses his stick, redirects off of Foligno, and beats Vasilevsky. Jackets tie it up at 2. Nick Foligno's second goal of the year, and the Jackets' first power play goal of the year. Hopefully with Laine coming in, that number can climb. And after that, the Jackets would push. They would get some opportunities. Vasilevsky would make some huge saves. Corpy made a majority of the saves, and it looked like the Jackets were just hanging on, trying to get to overtime. And thanks to Corpy, they were able to start overtime, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. They gave up a goal to Detroit in 15 seconds. Tampa's much better. Let's see how they do. And come out, Tampa quickly gets an opportunity, but Corpy shuts that down and gives the Jackets opportunity. Head up ice, and that gets shut down by Vasilevsky. Almost 2 minutes into overtime, the Lightning have the puck in their own zone. Hedman takes the puck and heads up the ice. He gets it to Steven Stamkos, and Stamkos and Hedman pass it back and forth a little bit as they enter the zone, and somehow the Jackets forgot about Braden freaking Point, who was able to float to the back door. Hedman's at basically the goal line, and kind of like the Coleman goal, so he's standing on the back door. Nobody's really covering him. Hedman pits it right on Point's stick, and Point pits it past Corpy, and the Tampa Bay Lightning win 3-2. Now, watching this game, there's something I didn't realize. It was everybody who scored's second goal of the season. I find that kind of interesting, though, how everybody was able to score, just happened to score their second of the season. But thanks to Corpy, the Jacks were able to steal a point, which in this season, Tampa's probably going to run away with the division. Any points you can get off of them are good points to have. So now we head to the second game of the series, where the Jackets win 5-2 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Early morning, you wake up and you see that the trade has been made. It looked like a weight was lifted off the shoulders. They were playing much more free. They were moving the puck around a whole lot better. The passes looked a whole lot crisper. Everybody seemed just a little bit happier to be there. Going in the place of PLD is Kevin Stenlund. Benstrom's out of the lineup, and Nathan Gerbe is going in for him. So let's jump right in to game number 2, starting off first period. Jackets come up with a little bit of life, and they're moving the puck around really well. And the Jackets get a couple opportunities, but they just can't get anything to fully complete yet. They don't get a shot at all. First 2 shots go to Tampa Bay. And about 4 minutes in, there's a face-off in the offensive zone. And the Jackets win it to the point to Zach Werenski. And Zach Werenski just completely fans on the shot. And the Tampa Lightning are able to exit the zone a 3-on-1. As the Lightning enter the zone, Seth Jones lays down to take away the pass, and the pass is kind of made. He has such a long stick and reach. He breaks up the pass from being completed. I'm like, good job, Seth. The late guy coming in is Victor Hedman. I'm like, oh, that's the wrong guy. But Boone's being a good back checker. He lifts a stick and disrupts him just enough that Hedman can't get a shot. I'm like, way to go, Boone. Hedman turns around and smacks it through his legs, and it hits a piece of Elvis, and it flips up over him, and he scores. I'm like, of course he does. Jackets do everything correct defensively after Zach just fanned on the shot. Everything else went correctly for them, and Hedman pits on this unreal spin around through the leg shot, and it beats Elvis. We go for the face-off. It ends up in the Jacket zone. Dean Kukin goes after it, and he gets it, and he sends it over to Zolzato, and he sees he has Cam Atkinson breaking. So he hits Atkinson. Atkinson's able to get a step on Victor Hedman, and Victor Hedman has to basically grab a hold of Atkinson, and the ref's arm immediately shoots up. And Cam Atkinson still gets a decent shot away, but Vasilevsky is able to make the save. Rebound comes out. Foligno's coming crashing in. He cleans up the rebound, beats Vasilevsky. Jackets tied at 1. Foligno's third goal of the year, 17 seconds after the Tampa Bay Lightning took the lead. And the best part about this goal, not that Atkinson got a point, not that he got a step on Hedman, which is hard to do. Atkinson just looked good on this play. Not that Foligno continues to do anything, but the fact that Foligno scored this goal, nullifying the penalty, no power play for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Thank you, Captain Nick. But in all seriousness, it was a good cleanup by Foligno. And if the Jackets are going to continue to play their style of hockey, they're going to have to get some of these garbage goals to go in. Just cleaning up the stuff in front of the net. Their shots have been creating a lot of rebounds this year. They just don't have anybody cleaning them up. So if they can get a couple of those start to going in, they get a little bit of confidence and just build off of that. About halfway through the period, the puck is just inside the Jacket zone, and Nathan Gerbe flips up out of the zone, and it's a foot race, and Mikhail Grigorenko takes off. Grigorenko picks it up as he enters the zone. He goes down. He has Hedman with him, and so he just does a drop pass to the blue line as Stenlund enters the zone. Stenlund unloads the shot. It hits Vasilevsky. Gavrikov's doing a good job. He headed towards the net. He jumped up in the play, so he's battling in front of the net. And Vasilevsky can't really see anything, so as the shot comes in, Vasilevsky makes the save, but it squeaks through him, and he doesn't know that. And Grigorenko did a good job. He went to the net behind Vasilevsky, saw his lane right there, put it past him. Jackets lead 2-1. Mikhail Grigorenko's first goal of the season and first as a Jacket. I hope getting this goal for Grigorenko loosens him up, gets him back, just feeling comfortable, and he can actually start to produce and start just painting pucks in net and really contributing to this team. I've liked his game so far, but he just hasn't been able to put it together offensively, and hopefully this goal relaxes him. But this is also a good play by Gerbe. He was battling all night, and he just takes the puck and gets it out of the zone, but he doesn't go for the icing. And it was a good hard shot by Stenlund. Those two guys who were inserted in this lineup realize Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic are coming into this lineup, and they're going to probably have a spot. So if they're going to continue to play, they have to out-battle somebody for a spot. So they were going hard all night, and they get rewarded on this play. So the period continues on. It's down to about the final minute, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are starting to head up out of their zone. And Gavrikov does a good job. He pokes it off of the Tampa Bay player's stick. Robbins is right there doing a good job back-checking, picks it up, and just throws it in the zone. So everybody turns around, goes in the zone. Riley Nash is first one onto the scene, but he has a Tampa Bay player with him. And so they just take each other out of the play and leave the puck right there. Liam Foudy comes in, picks it up, and he can either go towards the net where there's a bunch of players, but he has the sense to go, that will not work out. Everywhere I'm at right now is not going to work out. So he moves and it gets himself a better angle. And he sees Gavrikov coming in the zone. And because he's now has a good better angle, he puts a perfect pass on Gavrikov's stick. Gavrikov unloads it. It beats Vasilevsky. Jackets lead 3-1. Gavrikov's first goal of the year. And I was like, okay, cool. The Jackets are up 3-1. They scored in the final minute, even though it was barely within the final minute. But that's generally a huge momentum killer. Take this energy, carry it into the second, and just come out flying. But before we could get there, Jackets would take a penalty, and Tampa would go to the power play. I'm like, okay, get through the period. You have a little momentum from that late goal. Carry it in, kill off the rest in the second. Well, Tampa did Tampa things, went pass, and they retrieved their pucks, and Andre Palat floated away from everybody. He's in the back door where the Jackets keep leaving players. Nobody's covering him. Brandon Points puts a pass right onto his stick, and he just goes, ba-doop, right into the back of the net. Tampa brings himself within 1. And that's how we would end the first period, with the Jackets up 3-2. During second intermission, I'm like, this is not going to end well. It's turning into a shooting fest. And if you get into a shooting fest with the Tampa Bay Lightning, 99% of the time, Tampa is winning because they're just that good. But we come out for the second period. Jackets play smart. They lock a lot of it down. They take their chances when they can get them. They spend some offensive zone time. They're moving the puck around really well. They're getting shots on Vasilevsky. They're limiting Tampa's chances. They're keeping them to outside when they can. And Elvis is making the key saves. And he's making some pretty big saves. And we go through the entire second period with nobody scoring, head of the third. Jackets still up by 1. Come on for the third period, and the Jackets are pushing a little bit because they know they have to. You cannot let up against Tampa. A little over 6 minutes into the period, Jackets get some offensive zone time, and Texier is a man on a mission. He's battling, retrieving pucks and stuff. Puck works his way to the point. Seth Jones gets it, and he sees Texier's freed himself a little bit. He's like, you know what? Give it back to him. So he pitches it over to Texier. Texier heads behind the net, shakes off the defender, and now is working from behind the net. Sees he has Borkstrand right up front, pits a pass right to him. Borkstrand takes a shot, and it's just wide. Hits the backboards, comes out. Boone Jenner has a shot. Vasilevsky makes the save. Texier picks it back up, and he starts to head out towards the top of the circle. Zach Werenski sees Texier is heading up to the blue line. He can pinch because Texier is going to fill his slot as they switch. As Texier starts to head up there, Zach's pinching. They happen to hit a point where Texier can make a pass. Pass goes to Zach. Zach shoots it right away. Jackets lead 4-2. Zach Werenski's first goal of the season. So now the Jackets have a 2-goal lead, and they continue to apply pressure, but they back off a little bit. They want to make sure they don't give up too much. And the Tampa Bay Lightning would push. They would get some opportunities, but they just couldn't capitalize on them. And coming near the end of the game, pull Vasilevsky, and the fourth line. I don't know how you classify these lines. And as Vasilevsky heads to the bench, Tampa starts to set up a little bit, and as soon as Vasilevsky gets to the bench, right about that time, Tampa ends up turning it over because the Jackets do a good stick checking play. Jones pushes it to Nash. Nash realizes he has really nowhere to go, so he gets it to Robinson, and Robinson just takes off up out of the zone using his speed. And rather than go for the empty net from his zone or the blue line, he skates the puck. And he goes as far as he can go, which happens to be the red line, which, oh my gosh, that is so smart of him. He gets to the red line. By the time Hedman's pressure down on him, he has nowhere to go. So since he has nowhere to go, he throws it at the empty net because he knows if he misses, it's not icing. He happens to make it. Jackets lead 5-2. Eric Robinson's first goal of the year. And that's all the Jackets would need to win. They would end up taking 3 of the 4 points in this series with Tampa. Tampa only picking up 2. And the Jackets also handing Tampa Bay their first loss. All in all, I think it was a pretty good series against Tampa Bay. The one game they had PLD with the shift, so now you're rolling 11 forwards for the rest of the game. You were able to force overtime in that because Corpy played amazing. This game, there was just basically a weight lifted off the team. Everybody played freer, and they ended up pulling out a win 5-2. And hopefully they can take that momentum and continue rolling on. So until next time when the Jackets play the Florida Panthers, click like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until then, I will see you later. Doing 2 games is a lot.